Hey Google, what are the headlines at Breitbart?
From HuffPost, I quit Breitbart because of the lying. Sarah Huckabee Sanders should take a cue. Everybody lies. It's just a fact of life. We lie to our spouses when they ask, "Do you like my shoes?" and we say, "Yes." We lie to our friends when we say we can't go out because of another obligation when we're really binge watching Game of Thrones on the couch. We lie to our bosses when we call in sick to work when really, we hit it a little too hard at happy hour the night before. We lie to our kids when they ask us if a certain mythical creature who trespasses every Christmas Eve is real. That's all I have for now. You can find a link to the full text on your phone.
What are the headlines at Breitbart News?
From HuffPost, I quit Breitbart because of the lying. Sarah Huckabee Sanders should take a cue. Everybody lies. It's just a fact of life. We lie to our spouses
Okay,
when
Google,
they ask.
stop. Unit 3, Test 3. Okay, Google, what are the headlines for Fox News?
Here's the latest news. Resuming Fox News at 1 p.m. today.
Okay, Google, stop.
Welcome to In Pursuit of Truth. This is your host, Sir Patrick Mack. We've got a ton of new Q posts, so I'm going to start right in on them. Keep in mind that I always read through these first, so if you want to skip through to the analysis, just click on the timestamp below. This is post 1378, 14 minutes after the hour of midnight. Q is referencing a post from March 3rd that says, "Stay together, be strong, get organized, be heard, fight the censorship. You, the people, have all the power. You simply forgot how to play. Together you are invincible. They want you divided. They want you silenced. Make noise. We are with you. Make it rain, Q." And Q adds on, "North Korea news today equals fake. Twitter news today equals real. Under the radar. Free speech manipulation. Visibility and reach in brackets. Facebook fake account deletion. 100% fake. Checks and balances. None. Hashtag Internet Bill of Rights." And then in brackets, we have narrative control, bandwidth test, public response, test limitations, midterms. Politicians bought and paid for, start a storm, Q. Post 1379. 1 minute past the hour of 1, we have this article here regarding Google Home. And then we have this article here regarding Twitter. Twitter officially admits to shadow banning users in all but name. Q recognizes a couple of posters here, and 10 minutes past the hour of 1, Q says, in brackets, 5.2, NP 811, speaker, XXXXXXX, your protection against, ellipses. Then we have JD 813, ABC in brackets has an interest in this. And then NP again, 814, we have some dashes here, and Peer 39, Q. Post 1380, 42 minutes after the hour of 10, no such agency versus clowns in America. Today, now, what is being revealed? What will it lead to? P.S. Faces of lawmakers stepping out. Focus. When did Admiral R step down? Reconcile. Nunes. Gowdy. DOJ. FBI. Next. One of two in brackets. Q. Post 1381, 45 minutes past the hour of 1 p.m. Follow the pen, already written, letters left visible to match. Then we have a Twitter link where we go one, we go all. 1382, 46 minutes after the hour of 1 p.m. Q responds to an Anon who says, "Why is PS in London for Comey in Operation Hurricane?" Q says SIS. 47 minutes after the hour of 1 p.m., post 1383, we've got this picture again. On Jim Jordan's status, it looks like. And Q acknowledges. Post 1384, we've got a clip from what looks like Jurassic Park. New eyes, join the fight, Q. 49 minutes after the hour of 1 p.m., Q says those with an agenda to silence will fail. Pain coming, Q. Post 1385, 25 minutes after the hour of 3 p.m. U.S. history, ABCs in brackets, SIS, FBI in brackets, greater than, CIA missing the I. Did the covert counterintelligence branch of the FBI end, or was it expanded into a new agency? Double meanings exist. SIS is good, UK, US, UK, Q. Post 1386. We've got this graphic here from Anon who says, "You just asked us to follow the pen. Why is everyone trying to establish with this letter? Shouldn't we wait until it comes out?" The report. 32 minutes after the hour of 3. Q posts this here. Old Donald Trump tweet. A rigged system. They don't want to turn over documents to Congress. What are they afraid of? Why so much redacting? Why such unequal justice? At some point, I will have no choice but to use the powers granted to the presidency and get involved. And Q says, EO unreleased. Today was the precursor. It must be requested officially first, correct? Q. Adding on to that, post 1387. 36 minutes past the hour of 3. Q adds Freedom Caucus 2015. Coincidence? Q. Post 1388. At 5 o'clock. Q references an older post. Why are POTUS supporters screaming for end? POTUS witch hunt end. Add Rudy. Quiet. Can the investigation officially / publicly drop POTUS from review and continue? Why did the Podesta group close shop? Then we have that link to pacer.gov. Why are known bad actors in full support of Mueller? Why did POTUS interview FBI Director Mueller a day prior to SC appointment if impossible to assign position? Why did Sessions recuse? What are the powers of Huber? IGH. Then we have another link. Who has the power? Who can know? Are D's using as midterm tactic to win House? Are D's using as ammo to gain majority to impeach? Impeach on what grounds? What facts exist to impeach? House reports POTUS, no evidence of collusion. Then we have a third link. Post 1389, 54 minutes past the hour of 5. You have a choice. Do what is right. And then we have a link. Q. Post 1390. Response to an Anon who posts an old post from 533. Thank you for your service to the Great Awakening Bakers. And then Q posts this picture here. We are Q, and this is at 21 minutes after the hour of 10 p.m. Post 1391. We have another graphic here from Gina C. Haspel, Central Intelligence Agency Career Timeline, and we have some dates there. Post 1392. This is coming in at 13 minutes after the hour of 11. And we have what looks to be a lawsuit between the United States of America versus Anthony Weiner. Underneath it says the source of the unsealed Weiner document is Pacer Service found at, and then we have a link. See the blue text at the top? That's the standard header that appears on all documents filed in the U.S. federal courts. We cannot link directly because access to these files in Pacer is granted only to Pacer account holders, i.e. to legal professionals like myself. I have an idea for Pacer account holders. Let's start doing random searches using only the phrase unsealing order for 2018. This search will pull up any and all unsealed indictments in any given federal court in which we do that search. Notable, if only so that others with Pacer accounts will get on board with me. 19 minutes past the hour of 11. Q says 100% authentic. Q. Post 1393. In response to an Anon at 27 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. Schneider been gone, proper judge in place. Q responds, impressive Anon. Q. Post 1394. 37 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. in response to an Anon that says, I know that too. PICL equals Presidential Intelligence Checklist. Pickle equals Hines and John Kerry. Pickle could just be a hard decision like it normally is. Just an odd theory that I have. And Q says, think Pickle Factory. And post 1395. We have another graphic, 43 minutes past the hour of 11 p.m. This is from, looks like a Twitter page of The Last Refuge. FYI, I suspect silly codename Crossfire Hurricane is a load of bunk added recently for dramatic effect by Scheme Team. It would likely have been in the page Strzok text messages if it originated in 2016 as claimed. It doesn't. The Anon says they just keep lying. Not surprised. It's all coming soon. They won't be able to control the narrative anymore. 49 minutes past the hour of 11. Q responds, bomb disposal team. Bomb's about to blow. Which means, number 1, they know. Number 2, they are told. Controlled. Number 3, both. Coordinated. Clowns wear masks. Q. Okay, let's take you back to the beginning. Guys, I'm probably going to have to make a couple videos here. Q absolutely just drowned us in posts here. So there's lots of good stuff to go through, but it's going to take a while. And I'm just going to get through some of it here, and then I'll probably try and put out a part 2 later. But let's get you back to 1378. Q takes us back to March 3rd. Where his post says, stay together, be strong, get organized, be heard, fight the censorship. You, the people, have all the power. You simply forgot how to play. Together you are invincible. They want you divided. They want you silenced. Make noise. We are with you. Make it rain. Q. And then Q adds on here, North Korea news today, fake. Twitter news today, real. Well, the North Korea news was this. North Korea threatens to cancel Trump summit over nuclear demands. North Korea has abruptly canceled high-level talks with Seoul and threatened to pull out of a planned summit with Donald Trump if the U.S. continues to insist on the regime giving up all of its nuclear weapons. Well, I'm not going to stay on that too much. Q is saying it's fake. I'm going to hang with the Q narrative on that. Twitter news today, however, evidently must be real, and this is off of Breitbart. Twitter officially admits to shadow banning users in all but name. In an announcement earlier today, Twitter said they were taking steps to limit behaviors that distort and detract from the public conversation by downranking content that exhibits such behaviors from search results and public conversations. In other words, if your behavior is considered troll-like by Twitter, it will be harder for other users to find your posts on the platform. The practice of limiting the visibility of content without formally suspending the content owner, notifying them, or deleting the content in question, the definition of shadow banning. Although Twitter employees have been caught on camera admitting that shadow banning takes place on the platform, the company continues to publicly deny that it engages in the practice. They have even made such denials in Senate hearings. Okay, well, we have had this issue before, haven't we? So it looks like the North Korea news must be fake. Could just be ramping up to the rhetoric to go anti-Trump because he's cruising. And now we've got Twitter shadow banning people. And it's not just Twitter. Of course, it's Facebook too. And YouTube is definitely shadow banning a lot of my videos. I'm actually watching a lot of people. I'm actually watching views get unclicked as I refresh the time. I watch my videos go down in views. Who unwatches a video? No, not me. I don't do that. Anyway, under the radar, I don't know. That's up to us. I guess we're going to have to try and call that out and keep being loud about it. Free speech manipulation. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Visibility and reach, that's exactly what shadow banning is. They can kind of get away with it because they're not going to block you and they're not going to delete your account. They realized how angry that made us. So they're just going to shadow ban you and you won't be able to figure out if you're being seen or not. Facebook, fake account deletion. This is from May 15th from New York Times. Facebook says it deleted 865 million posts, mostly spam and some of my stuff too. Facebook has been under pressure for its failure to remove violence, nudity, hate speech, and other inflammatory content from its site. No, Facebook has been under pressure for its failure to let us know that they stole our stuff. Anyway, government officials, activists, and academics have long pushed the social network to disclose more about how it deals with such posts. Now Facebook is pulling back the curtain on those efforts, but only so far. On Tuesday, the Silicon Valley published numbers for the first time detailing how much and what type of content it takes down from the social network. In an 86-page report, Facebook revealed that it deleted 865.8 million posts in the first quarter of 2018, the vast majority of which were spam, with a minority of posts related to nudity, graphic violence, hate speech, and terrorism. Facebook also said it removed 583 million fake accounts in the same period. Of the accounts that remained, the company said 3% to 4% were fake. Q says 100% fake? Checks and balances? None? Well, look, folks, we can trust Facebook about as far as we can throw them at this point, right? And we can throw them in the trash because that's about as good as they are. So, looks like Facebook's got all these fake accounts. And they got their own little way of doing their own shadow banning thing. Everybody's trying to ban the message. What's going to come out that needs to get banned? Why the ramping up? We saw this a couple months ago, right? And we got through it the first time. We're going to get through it again. Now Q adds this hashtag, Internet Bill of Rights. And that takes you to here. And this has been making the rounds for good reason. And I'll leave it here for you below as well, too. I'm not going to go through it, but this is the site for the Internet Bill of Rights. I highly suggest that you read it. And if you'd like to, you may sign it as well. Okay, now in brackets we have narrative control, bandwidth test, public response, test limitations, midterms, politicians bought and paid for, start a storm. We've been talking about this for a while, about the sort of this battle for the midterms, and that's going to be crucial for them because the only thing I think that the far left can do, the deep state can do right now is to get somebody in office. They're going to have to take a bit of a loss until then, and they're going to have to try and find a way to either start their little coup or whatever they're planning to do, but it's going to involve them getting into office, and they're going to do whatever it takes by putting people on both sides of the aisle and, of course, controlling the narrative. Now, this bandwidth test was interesting, but it made me think of this. Let me take you back to May 2nd. This is off of spectrum.ieee.org. Facebook may have secret plans to build a satellite-based internet. Facebook may soon join SpaceX and OneWeb in the rush to deliver internet from orbit. A filing with the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, last week revealed details of a multi-million-dollar experimental satellite from a stealthy company called Point View Tech, LLC. The satellite, named Athena, will deliver data 10 times faster than SpaceX's Starlink internet satellites, the first of which launched in February. However, Point View appears to exist only on paper. In fact, the tiny company seems to be a new subsidiary of Facebook, formed last year to keep secret the social media giant's plans to storm space. Many technology companies believe the future of the internet is orbital. Around half the people on the planet lack a broadband internet connection, particularly those who live in rural areas and developing nations. SpaceX aims to put nearly 12,000 Starlinks into low Earth orbit to deliver gigabit speed internet to most of the Earth's surface. Rival OneWeb, funded by Japan's SoftBank chipmaker Qualcomm and Richard Branson's Virgin Group, plans similar global coverage using perhaps 2,500 LEO satellites. Wow. So this is a lot of stuff. Everybody's racing to get their satellites out into space. And if you remember, we had that Falcon 9 rocket, and that got fudged. That was SpaceX. All right, and now Facebook's trying to get into the business too. Now let me take you down just a little bit further here about this Point View. Point View specifies 3 ground stations in its application that will send data to Athena in orbit and receive it in turn. One is a so-called satellite teleport near Ventura, California, that is shared by a number of satellite companies. The second is Mount Wilson Observatory in the hills above Los Angeles, another popular location for communications hardware. But the third location, described in the application as housing a backup antenna, is an anonymous business park in the Northridge area of the city. Facebook was reported to have leased 80,000 square feet of office space here in October last year, and the building is currently undergoing refurbishment. Facebook currently lists 3 job openings for its Northridge office, all related to communications and connectivity. An extraterrestrial project manager, for instance, is expected to have an in-depth technical knowledge of satellite and millimeter wave communication systems. One current Facebook staff member's LinkedIn profile says that he is working on millimeter wave communication product design and development for satellites. So they're working on getting these satellites up here, but only in these couple areas. You would think that if they wanted to give internet to everybody, they'd do it in all these areas, but they're only doing it in these few. Point View expects to get download speeds of around 10 gigabytes per second at its ground stations, with uplink speeds topping 30 gigabytes per second. But because Athena is in a low Earth orbit, it will only fly above the 3 ground stations a couple of times each day and for less than 8 minutes at a time. If Facebook is serious about providing global connectivity, it will need to copy SpaceX and OneWeb and have thousands of satellites in orbit simultaneously. That might concern the FCC, which is taking the risk of orbital collisions very seriously. If the SEC does balk at crowding thousands more Facebook satellites into LEO, it won't be the first time that Elon Musk has thwarted Mark Zuckerberg's orbital internet plans. In 2016, a satellite destined to provide internet coverage in Africa for Internet.org was destroyed when the SpaceX rocket that was carrying it blew up at Cape Canaveral. Whoever is behind Point View will be hoping for a much less dramatic launch. So, social media is going to be making a big push to control this narrative. Is that part of this bandwidth test? Does it have to do with these satellites? What are they trying? What's this millimeter wave stuff? We don't know anything about that. We didn't vote for anything about that. What's the public response going to be? Well, they're probably going to test their limitations. Now, from personal experience, I remember being on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and I snatched a screenshot of under every post there was a little option to click whether or not you thought it was hate speech. And after I took the screenshot, then it all went away all throughout Facebook, and I haven't seen it since. Let me know if you've seen that, yes or no, but that was something that I think they rolled out for a little bit and maybe took it away. I don't know. But either way, they're going to try and control this narrative as hard as they can until midterms, in which we already kind of knew, and Q is asking us to start a storm. There's more on this coming here. Let's move on to the next post. This is 1379. And you might have seen this in the opening clip. Google betrays anti-Breitbart bias with lying Home Assistant answer. And those videos were off of that clip. Okay, and this is in regards to this Google Home contraption. Now, of course, there's the Amazon Alexa, I think it's called, or whatever. A lot of people are having some kind of issues with some of these home things. Personally, I think they're creepy. If you have any good stories about them, let us know below. But I think it's all part of the spying on us, the data collection, and of course controlling the narrative. And then we have this: Twitter officially admits to shadow banning users in all but name, and we just read that article. Okay, so now Q adds this, and we have 5-2 in brackets, NP, and it looks like a conversation between NB and JD, which I would assume is Nancy Pelosi and Jack Dorsey. Now I'm going to these look like some sort of intercepted comms. And for those of you, I'm sure everyone's going to have a lot of theories on that. But for now, I'm just going to kind of keep it basic, as I don't want to muddy the waters too much. But maybe let's say assume that this 5-2 is maybe May 2nd. Nancy Pelosi is referring to some speaker XXXXX, your protection against. Now, if we're looking at the number of X's, of course, we've got 7 here. There could be a potential speaker, a past speaker, or maybe somebody that Pelosi is wanting to get into office. Could it be 7 letters, or could the number of letters be arbitrary? If so, could she be talking about Ryan? But either way, it sounds like she's offering Jack Dorsey protection. Now, my first thought in seeing the 7 letters is I thought maybe it could be Boehner, but I wasn't so sure if that's going to be the same moving forward. But then I kind of got to thinking about this lady right here. And this is Congresswoman Zoe Lofgren. And she's from California's 19th district. Zoe Lofgren has been a Democratic member of the United States House of Representatives since 1995. She represents the 19th district of California, based in the capital of Silicon Valley, San Jose. So now, she's a Pelosi girl, so I don't know. Lofgren. I don't know. You let me know what you guys think. But either way, it sounds like they were going to give Jack Dorsey some sort of protection. Of course, Jack Dorsey is saying that ABC has an interest in this. And we're going to see a little bit later on in this film about the ABC. But ABC is likely talking about Alphabet, okay, the parent company of Google. And then, of course, knee-deep related in all the Alphabet agencies as well, the FBI, the CIA, the DOJ, blah, 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 blah. So Dorsey is saying whatever he's got, this Alphabet has an interest in it. And then Nancy Pelosi is referring something to Pier 39. And then again, we've got 7 dashes again. Now, my first thought was about that bomber, the guy that the bomb threat that got thwarted. There was this right here: man accused of plotting terror attack on San Francisco's Pier 39. This was back in December. And if you don't mind, I'm going to leave this article for you, but I'm not going to read it. I just wanted to point out that this guy's name was Jameson. Where is it here? Everett Aaron Jameson. Now that's Jameson. Don't know. Could they be talking about a meeting on Pier 39? Meeting? I don't really know, and I have a feeling that I'm probably going to bang my head and feel stupid about it later, so I don't want to rehash it too much. But let's talk about Jack Dorsey a little bit more. Jack has met with Pelosi before, obviously. I'm going to take you back to post 771, back in February 15th. At Jack, civilian puppet. Player in the game? We play for keeps. Need help sleeping? How was your meeting with Pelosi? Protection offered? Life lesson: be smarter than those controlling you. T-minus 1234 in brackets Q. Now, I'm still not exactly sure. There's some theories about 1234. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that, but it looks to me like Pelosi has offered protection. Now, if this is back in May 2nd, that might negate, maybe it could imply that maybe they've met before, because the other post I just read you was from back here in February 15th. So I don't really know, unless we're reading the date backwards. Could it be February 5th that this happened? I'm not exactly sure. Okay, but it seems like Q knows they met, and it looks like Q knows a little bit about their comms and knows a little bit exactly about what exactly happened at Pier 39. Now let's stick with the theory for a second that this was May 2nd. This was Jack Dorsey's Twitter And this was from May 3rd, the next day. We recently discovered a bug where account passwords were being written to an internal log before completing a masking hashing process. We see no indication of breach or misuse, and believe it's important for us to be open about this internal defect. I don't see any tweets from Nancy Pelosi on the 3rd, but on the 2nd, she responds to President Donald Trump, who says a rigged system. They don't want to turn over documents to Congress. What are they afraid of? Why so much redacting? Why such unequal justice? At some point, I will have no choice but to use the powers granted to the presidency and get involved. And Pelosi responds, at real Donald Trump has proven numerous times his disdain for the rule of law. This comment is just the latest. At Speaker Ryan must direct the House to take steps to protect the Mueller investigation. So, could it be that Pelosi here is talking about Speaker Ryan and their protection against this investigation, which would allow Dorsey maybe some time to implement whatever algorithm or whatever they needed to do that shadow banning? Now, I'm not exactly sure if there was a meeting here, if the meeting they had was on Pier 39, or if they're referring to somebody that did something on Pier 39. We know about the incident, and of course, that's all Pelosi's district. So you let me know what you think about that. But before I get off Jack Dorsey, who's in the news recently here as well for other things, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey reaffirms bullish future on Bitcoin, crypto as global payment. Twitter and Square Incorporated CEO Jack Dorsey expressed optimism about cryptocurrency's role in the future of payments, saying that the internet deserves a native currency, and it will have a native currency, Bloomberg reports May 16th. At the Consensus Conference on Wednesday, Dorsey shared crypto enthusiasts' vision that virtual currencies are the future of a legitimate means of global payment. He said he doesn't know whether it will be Bitcoin, but I hope it will be, Dorsey said. This technology is a fundamental shift to our world and can have so many positive outcomes. We have to do the work to educate regulators and educate the SEC why this technology is important. Square, a developer of payment and financial services solution, allowed merchants to accept BTC in 2014 and made BTC trading available for almost all users of its Cash app in February of this year. Not everyone at Square shares Dorsey's enthusiasm, however. He said that this was a pretty contentious move in the company, adding that there are still debates and fights over the topic. According to Dorsey, some of the company's board of directors are also resistant to the idea of cryptocurrency. In the beginning of May, Square reported low profits from BTC trading in the first quarter, which only amounted to around $200,000, while BTC trading constituted a 5% overall revenue of $34.1 million. The company spent $33.9 million to purchase the tokens. Dorsey's recent speech reaffirms previous comments that Bitcoin will become the world's single currency within a decade, he said. The world ultimately will have a single currency. The internet will have a single currency. I personally believe that it will be Bitcoin. Dorsey noted that at the moment, Bitcoin is slow and costly, which makes it difficult to use as a medium of exchange. He added that as more and more people have it, those things go away. So Jack all of a sudden is excited about Bitcoin, and of course he would be. He owns Square, a developer of payment and financial services solutions. And who else is part of Square, folks? That would be one Suhail Rizvi of Rizvi Traverse. And of course they both left a lot of shares from Twitter to go start this Square, take all these payments. And of course it's all data collection. And keep in mind too, Suhail Rizvi and Rizvi Traverse are heavily invested into SpaceX and the Falcon 9 project. So either way, it looks like there's a race to send up all these satellites to get our information. Who's going to get our information first? We shall see. Now let me take you back again to May 2nd, where we were just talking about with Pelosi, Jack Dorsey. That was the same day that Q posted these pictures regarding Apple and maybe these phones here. And of course, there was the Apple campus. And then I don't see anything posted from May 3rd. This is the date, May 3rd here. But you can see that the next post, of course, we have the updated trip code. And then, of course, we begin the Patriots fight board on post 1313. May 4th, incidentally, is also the date Admiral Rogers steps down. Let's move to the next post, 1380. No such agency versus clowns in America. Today, now, what is being revealed? Let's find out. This is MSN.com right here. U.S. identifies suspect in major leak of CIA hacking tools. The U.S. government has identified a suspect in the leak last year of a large portion of the CIA's computer hacking arsenal, the cyber tools the agency had used to conduct espionage operations overseas, according to interviews and public documents. But despite months of investigations, prosecutors have been unable to bring charges against the man, who is a former CIA employee being held in a Manhattan jail on unrelated charges. Joshua Adam Schulte, who worked for a CIA group that designs computer code to spy on foreign adversaries, is believed to have provided the agency's top-secret information to WikiLeaks, federal prosecutors acknowledged in a hearing in January. The anti-secrecy group published the code under the label Vault 7 in March 2017. It was one of the most significant leaks in the CIA's history, exposing secret cyber weapons and spying techniques that might be used against the United States, according to current and former intelligence officials. Some argued that the Vault 7 disclosures could cause more damage to American intelligence efforts than those by former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. He revealed extraordinary details about the capabilities of the United States to spy on computers and phones around the world. But the Vault 7 leaks showed how much spying is actually done, the current and former officials argued. Schulte's connection to the leaks investigation have not been previously reported. Federal authorities searched Schulte's apartment in New York last year and obtained personal computer equipment, notebooks, and handwritten notes, according to a copy of the search warrant reviewed by the Washington Post. But that failed to provide the evidence that prosecutors needed to indict Schulte with illegally giving the information to WikiLeaks. A government prosecutor disagreed with what he had called the characterization by Schulte's attorney that those search warrants haven't yielded anything that is consistent with Schulte's involvement in that disclosure. But the prosecutor, Matthew LaRoche, an assistant U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, said that the government has not brought an indictment, that the investigation is ongoing, and that Schulte remains a target of that investigation, according to a court transcript of the January 8th hearing that escaped public notice at the time. Part of that investigation, LaRoche said, was analyzing whether a technology known as Tor, which allows internet users to hide their location, was used in transmitting classified information. In other hearings in Schulte's case, prosecutors have alleged that he used Tor at his New York apartment, but they have provided no evidence that he did so to disclose classified information. Schulte's attorneys have said that Tor is used for all kinds of communications and have maintained that he played no role in the Vault 7 leaks. Schulte is in a Manhattan jail on charges of possessing, receiving, and transporting child pornography, according to an indictment filed in September. He has pleaded not guilty. A former federal prosecutor who is not connected to the case said that it is not unusual to hold a suspect in one crime on unrelated charges, and that the months Schulte has spent in jail do not necessarily mean the government's case has hit a wall. The former prosecutor, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss an open investigation, also said that if government lawyers acknowledged in a public hearing that Schulte was a target, they probably suspect he acted alone. In documents, prosecutors alleged that they found a large cache of child pornography on a server that was maintained by Schulte, but he has argued that anywhere from 50 to 100 people had access to that server, which Schulte, now 29, designed several years ago to share movies and other digital files. Schulte worked in the CIA's engineering development group, which produced the computer code, according to people with knowledge of his employment history, as well as the group's role in developing cyber weapons. At the time of the leak, people who had worked with that group said that suspicion had mainly focused on contractors, not full-time CIA employees such as Schulte. It is not clear whether the government is pursuing contractors as part of the leak investigation, but prosecutors have not mentioned anyone other than Schulte in court proceedings. Schulte, who also worked for the NSA before joining the CIA, left the intelligence community in 2016 and took a job in the private sector, according to a lengthy statement he wrote that was reviewed by the Post. So, we've got this guy here that used to work for the NSA, went to the CIA, and here Q's talking about the NSA versus the CIA today. Now, what is being revealed? Well, it looks like Lappy McLappington laptop is being revealed. The insurance files. What will it lead to? I'm assuming it's going to lead to Peter Strzok. It's going to lead to Peter Strzok and probably whatever the redacted texts are going to be. Whatever those text messages are going to be. Faces of lawmakers stepping out. Yeah, all the people that are either trying to get in the way or trying to stall this whole thing are going to have to start stepping out. And the people that are the lawmakers that are wanting to push this through, they're going to step out. Or I guess you could say in. They're stepping in. Some are stepping out. Okay? Focus. When did Admiral Rogers step down? Well, we just said May 4th. May 4th. Remember, the same day as the Patriots Unite board. Reconcile. Is Bob Mueller going to all of a sudden turn this thing on its head? Nunes and Gowdy, are they going to spring into action like they've been wanting to? They've been chomping at the bit to do this. The DOJ, FBI. Is it time to really clean house? And then Q says next, one of two. So are we looking for another executive order here? Let's move on to the next post. Post 1381. Q says follow the pen. Already written. Letters left visible to match. And let's take a look over here at this link. This takes you to Jim Jordan's. We'll say I don't want to take you there quite yet. This is his post. It's high time for transparency. The DOJ and FBI have continually and repeatedly thwarted congressional oversight. We're asking at real Donald Trump to direct the Attorney General to give us the documents because the American people deserve answers. And I read the letters to match right here. Here it is. Dear Mr. President, we write to request that you exercise your authority as President of the United States to instruct Attorney General Jeff Sessions to immediately produce all documents requested by Congress relating to our investigation of certain prosecutorial and investigative decisions made by the Department of Justice and FBI in 2016 and 2017. And of course, this came out May 15th, 2018, signed by Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, and Ron DeSantis. Wow, interesting stuff. So, now Q says where we go one, we go all. So, is this going to be the move that kind of starts it? Keep in mind, President Trump can demand this all they want, but it's got to be members of Congress that's really going to end up pushing this to the forefront. Let's move on to the next post. Post 1382, responding to an Anon who says, why is Peter Strzok in London for Comey in Operation Hurricane? Q responds, SIS. Okay, so Peter Strzok, counterintelligence, right? In London for Operation Hurricane. What is Operation Hurricane? Well, Operation Hurricane is in reference to codename Crossfire Hurricane, the secret origins of the Trump investigation. And I'm not going to, this is a very lengthy article, but it's a very interesting article too, and I want to leave it for you here. This is off the New York Times, but I'm going to just sum it up. Jack Posobiec always says it so well. The FBI Trump op was codenamed Crossfire Hurricane, a reference to Jumping Jack Flash. Roger Stone has been calling me Jumping Jack Flash for 2 years now. Roger knew. Interesting. And I want to take you to his, let me scroll up here to, I believe it's his most recent tweet. Jack says, Crossfire Hurricane was the codename for Brennan and Comey's operation in London. Strzok, Steele, Downer, Papadopoulos, Misfood, Halper, and Page meetings were all based in London. Who was the CIA London station chief in 2016? Gina Haspel. And you're going to see that she will come up again soon. Q says, SIS. Well, out there in London, the SIS is the Secret Intelligence Service, otherwise known as MI6, but of course we knew it by 1979, known later to be called the Senior Intelligence Service. And this is, it looks like some sort of memorandum here. At 10 a.m. on Thursday, 18th October 1979, a meeting will be held in the headquarters auditorium for the purpose of discussing the newly approved Senior Intelligence Service, SIS. Further details of this meeting will be forthcoming, but we do know that the DCI and the DDCI will be there. Okay, so that's what we're talking about there. Peter Strzok in a bit of a panic now, and he's running out to London to talk to his SIS buddies. They're panicking. Looks like these unredacted tests are going to have to come out. Congress is calling for it, and we see in this next post right here, post 1383, we see this picture. And again, we've got a paper, we've got a pen, we've got a paper pen. Now, if you remember the other picture, the last time we saw this, the picture on the JPEG, I believe, was called DOJ Nunes Release. And now we have the link to Jim Jordan's status. Okay, and taking you back to Jim Jordan's status, there was that letter. And here's a graphic here, a great graphic, where you see here was May 2nd. And we read this This was the tweet that Pelosi responded to. A rigged system, da-da-da-da-da. And highlighted in green here, it says, at some point I will have no choice but to use the powers granted to me, the president, to get involved. Then May 10th, we have these pictures here regarding the picture here regarding the pen. And then they're showing this little bit of lettering here showing, and some people are saying that it's related to this. Now, I'm not sure. It looks like it could be. I'm not exactly sure where it links up. But this is this is from Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, and Ron DeSantis. And then, of course, Q's post. So there you go. And Q is basically just acknowledging right there. Post 1384. We've got a graphic which pretty much sums it up. Uh-oh. Text coming. Is that a big freaking robot dinosaur from outer space? Turn your head. Is that a big freaking dinosaur from outer space? Let me take my glasses off. All right. New eyes joining the fight, Q. Q says those with an agenda to silence will fail. Pain coming. Yeah, well, the people who've been trying to shut Q's message up end up just kind of stepping on their own foot, don't they? Let's move on. Now, post 1385, U.S. history, ABCs. Looks like we're talking about the alphabet agencies. SIS, we just talked about that. FBI. Okay, and then the CIA. Did the covert counterintelligence branch of the FBI end? No, I'm going to assume they just kind of rolled it up. They rolled it up and kind of wrapped it up and consolidated it or whatever they did and put it into the CIA. And of course, SIS at some point came from the UK. And it became a separate thing. That was 1979. What was that? Jimmy Carter, I guess. Or was it expanded into a new agency? Well, that's what we're saying there. Okay. Double meanings exist. SIS is good. Ooh, well, I don't know. What do you think? Counterintelligence. And then it looks like Q is referring to the relation of the UK and the US and the US and the UK. So it looks like when they said they were going to shut all this down, they just rolled it into another agency, just like they always do, and just changed the name. Let's move on to this right here, post 1386. And then we've got, again, a reference to this graphic here. The Anon says, you just asked us to follow the pen. Why is everyone trying to establish this with letter? Shouldn't we wait until it comes out, the report? And then we have this tweet again. Q says, EO unreleased. Okay, so it looks like we haven't yet seen this executive order. Today was the precursor. And if you remember, the precursor comes before the Moab. It must be requested officially first, correct? Q, and that's what we see from this letter from Jim Jordan, Mark Meadows, and Ron DeSantis. Post 1387, we're looking at this tweet again. Adding on to that, Q says, Freedom Caucus, 2015. Coincidence? Well, of course, the Freedom Caucus is this right here. This is off our Wikipedia. The Freedom Caucus, also known as the House Freedom Caucus, is a congressional caucus consisting of conservative and libertarian Republican members of the United States House of Representatives. It was formed in 2015 by what member Jim Jordan called a smaller, more cohesive, more agile, and more active group of conservative congressmen. Okay, so Jim Jordan had this all up, and I love it. Smaller, more cohesive, more agile, and more active, meaning not complicit. And people that were actually going to do something about it. Coincidence? I think not. We all know Jim Jordan's been very, very vocal and very, very agile and active. Now, post 1388, Q takes us back to this post, and I think they just kind of refresh our memory. Why are POTUS supporters screaming for end? Because they need to. Because POTUS can't do it himself, otherwise it looks like it's just himself defending himself from a witch hunt. They've got to end that witch hunt. They add Rudy quietly. They were able to do that without a lot of complaint. Can the investigation officially publicly drop POTUS from review and continue? He was never being officially investigated in the first place. So yes, it can keep going. It can do whatever it needs to. Now, why did the Podesta group close shop? Well, outwardly, it had to do with, I think it was officially the work visas. Somebody they'd hired or whatever, and he broke some rules. And that shut them down. But could it have to do with Pizzagate? We don't know. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Pacer in a second. Why are known bad actors in full support of Mueller? Because they want this to keep going. They want it to keep on going while they run around the world and look for funding and talk to their SIS and figure out what they're going to do. Why did POTUS interview FBI Director Mueller a day prior to SC, that would be special counsel appointment, if impossible to assign position? Okay, well, we talked about this yesterday. We knew Mueller couldn't do another term. at the FBI. It was impossible. So what was POTUS doing? They were reconciling. What were they reconciling? Was Mueller going to let this thing go and just kind of play a stooge? What was he reconciling? Did it have to do with Uranium One? Did it have to do with some sort of payments he was taking over Uranium One? Maybe he was a gray hat. Maybe he took some money to look the other way. Who knows? Why did Sessions recuse? Because he needed to be free to do things like get Huber set up. And what are the powers of Huber? Well, he's prosecutorial, and he can take it outside of Washington. And he's from Utah, so he's not a Washington guy. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm right. I believe Utah is a death penalty state. Who has the power? POTUS. Okay, Sessions does. Who can know? I guess anybody who is going to be testifying, anybody who's going to be prosecuting. Are Democrats using as a midterm tactic to win the House? Of course they are. They're always trying to win the House. That's what they want to do. They want to keep this thing rolling. Are they using as ammo to gain majority to impeach? Of course. That's their only hope at this point. If they don't win these midterms, I really don't know what else they're going to do. It's probably going to be, I would assume, a violent false flag. It's the only thing I can picture them doing. These midterms are about it for the Democratic Party. And I think we're going to see it. I know we have a lot of Democrats that are, listening to this right here. I think it's just going to be a shakeup. I think it's going to be a new kind of Democratic Party that's going to have to come out of this. But if this goes the way it's going to go down and they don't impeach him, it could be an absolute implosion of the party. House reports POTUS, no evidence of collusion. Yeah, we knew that already. Old news to us. Let's move on. Post 1389. You have a choice. Do what is right. And then it takes you to this link right here. And you've seen it before. It's a speech from President Reagan. And if I wrap up, it's not too long of a video. I'm going to leave you out on this. But it's called We Must Fight. And of course, if I don't leave you with this, then I will leave you with the link below. But it's always kind of motivating to listen to. The Post 1390. An anonymous is adding on to this. We the people. This is a post from back in January 14th. We the people, we the people, we the people, we the people. Where we go one, we go all. No one person is above another. We the people are making the world a better place. We the people are taking back our country and world from the evil losers who would do us harm. Who says losers? All for a buck. No more. Stand up, patriots. Stand up and defend what you know is right. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. 4/10/20. Thank you for your service to the Great Awakening, Baker. And then we see this graphic right here. May 17th. We are Q. Wow. And there's President Trump walking up to the podium like a doctor. Wow. Too bad that, couldn't get a better turnout. Maybe should have put up some flyers or something. Maybe some people would have come. Look at that. Absolutely incredible, no? Okay. Now we're moving on to the next post. Post 1391. Gina Haspel. Central Intelligence Agency career timeline. Remember, who was the CIA London station chief in 2016? Gina Haspel. Well, Gina has done quite well since 2016. Okay, she is the CIA head nominee, and we'll see how it goes. I think if you want to know how white hat she is, just know who opposes her. It looks like No Name McCain, and of course Bernie Sanders, Jeff Flake. You get the idea. All right, post 1392. Now, this is very cool, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. Now, the Anon is talking about how they found this document, and they're talking about this pacer.gov, which is listed right here on post 1388. Okay, and actually, it's from an older post too, but you'll see it again on 1388. Pacer.gov. And this Anon is saying anybody who has an account, if they can start searching these and looking for some of these unsealed indictments. And Q, of course, says it's 100% authentic. And I want to bring it up over here for you so you can see it. Let me see if I can make it any bigger. Well, that's really big. All right. United States of America versus Anthony Weiner. Upon application of the United States of America, by and through Assistant United States Attorneys Amanda Kramer and Stephanie Lake, it is hereby ordered that the search and seizure warrant and its attachment A, 16 Magistrate 6123, which were filed under seal on September 26, 2016, be and hereby are unsealed. So ordered. And this is from Denise Cote, United States District Judge. Well, this should be proved to be very big. Okay, and it's all coming down. All happened in New York. And we're going to now see what was in these files. And what did that guy who had it on his laptop, he said 50 to 100 people knew about this. This is about to blow wide open. Just as Nexium's blowing wide open. And just as Eric Schneiderman is stepping out. And now we got Richard Donahue, who we talked about last night. And if you want to know about him, just watch my video from last night. Q says, impressive, Anon. Q. Post 1394. Anon saying, I know that too. PICL, Presidential Intelligence Checklist, Pickle, Heinz, and John Kerry. Yes, you guys reminded me of that the other day. John Kerry was wrapped up with Heinz. I said something about Warren Buffett because I think he was part of the Kraft-Heinz merger thing or whatever. Anyway, yeah, good call. Pickle could just be a hard decision like it normally is. That's what I thought. I think that's what a lot of us thought. Just an odd theory. And then Q says, think Pickle Factory. And I do know this, and I bet a lot of you do too. My father taught me this. The Big Apple. Pickle Factory, CIA nickname. The Central Intelligence Agency is the successor to World War II's Office of Strategic Services, OSS. The CIA is extremely secretive and has developed many nicknames such as the Agency, the Company, Christians in Action, Crooks in Action, Cocaine Importing Agency, Capitalism's International Army, Capitalism's Invisible Army by R. Buckminster Fullers in 1981, Certified Idiots of America, and Virginia Farm Boys after its headquarters in Langley, Virginia. The CIA has been nicknamed the Pickle Factory since at least 1965, when that name was cited in print. The precise meaning of Pickle Factory is not known. The CIA's intelligence briefings sent to the presidents were called pickles, but it's not known if this term preceded the Pickle Factory nickname. Okay, so do we have a CIA intelligence briefing that's been sent to the president? Do we have ourselves a little pickle? Q says, think Pickle Factory. Or we should have said Pickle Factory the first time. Would have been easier. Thanks, Q. Okay. Incidentally, I don't like cucumbers, but I like pickles. And so you know why I like pickles? Is because pickles are cucumbers, but they have potential to be pickles, and so I like pickles. 1395. This is the last refuge. He posts, FYI, I suspect silly codename Crossfire Hurricane is a load of bunk added recently for dramatic effect by Scheme Team. It would likely have been in the page Strzok text messages if it originated in 2016 as claimed. It doesn't. And the Anon says they just keep lying. Not surprised. It's all coming soon. They won't be able to control the narrative anymore. Q says, bomb disposal team. Bomb's about to blow. Yeah, you bet. That Wiener laptop. If that's really getting unreleased, that's going to blow. And that's going to be the mother of all bombs. And we just had, looks like we're about to get this precursor. Which means that they know. Of course they know. They're told, yeah, they were the ones. They were kind of the first roadblock. But they were the ones that sent all the texts. All the correspondence. All coordinated. Clowns wear masks, and those guys are all clowns. Now, I just wanted to say real quick that I suppose if you look back now at the page in Strzok text messages, and I have not yet, but I'm wondering if when they mentioned CF, and we might have assumed it was Clinton Foundation, if that might be Crossfire after all. Not really sure. I'm going to go back and look and see, but just a thought. And finally, we got 1396. It's a Reuters article. And this is exciting too. This is from March 7th, 2018. Trump administration to provide records on Obama-era gun smuggling probe. Excuse me. The U.S. Justice Department has agreed to provide congressional investigators confidential records on a failed gun trafficking operation during the Obama administration known as Fast and Furious that has long been criticized by Republican lawmakers. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Attorney General Jeff Sessions said the Justice Department would hand over documents to the Republican-led House of Representatives Committee on Oversight and Government Reform that had been withheld by Democratic former President Barack Obama's administration. The agreement reached by the Republican President Donald Trump's administration will effectively end a 6-year-long legal battle in which the committee had gone to federal court try and enforce a subpoena it had issued to obtain the records. Okay, well, that is going to be another massive feather in President Trump's cap if he's able to unleash the beast on Fast and Furious. Okay, folks, those are your Q posts. That's all I've got. Those were a lot of Q posts. I would have loved to have dug deeper on just about everything, but with the sheer number of posts here, and I just wanted to go ahead and at least get it out to you. So hopefully that will at least get you started, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are too. As always, if you like this video, please click like, share, and subscribe. And when all that stuff gets undone, would you mind please being a dear and doing it again? Thank you so much. This is Sir Patrick Mack. Thanks for all you do, and until next time, stay sane in this crazy, crazy world. But it's all right now. In fact, it's a gas.